Hi to you all. This is the last video in the series on narcissistic abuse. It's video 7, and I'm talking about how do you heal from narcissistic abuse. Now, to some extent, I'm a little bit wary about this topic because there are so many different ways. There are as many different ways to heal from narcissistic abuse as there are different people who have experienced narcissistic abuse. Each person will have their own journey. Each person will go through it in their own time, depending on what happens in their life as they are going through the healing process, so it can affect it as well. However, there are 9 points I want to go through because they are things that, yes, anybody who's been through narcissistic abuse can probably benefit from them. So let me go through some of the things you can consider. But if your narcissistic abuse was really, really bad, then once again, please consider professional help. Okay, the first thing to do if you're going to heal from narcissistic abuse is you need to get out of the narcissistic relationship. Narcissists don't change. Narcissists also don't have the capacity for remorse. They are never going to feel sorry for what they've done because whatever happens to them or whatever they do is always somebody else's fault. And if somebody can only blame others and never take responsibility for their actions, they're not going to be able to take remorse. If you can at all possible, get out. Stay away, have nothing to do with a narcissist. If you cannot do that, then you need to set boundaries. When you are vulnerable, and you will be if you've experienced narcissistic abuse, you probably need somebody to help you. So get another person to help you put in place boundaries and make sure that they are adhered to. So that's the first point. The second thing I want to say is acknowledge what happened to you. Don't stay in denial. Nobody gets better by being in denial. You experienced narcissistic abuse, and this other person is a narcissist. You are not going to heal and you are not going to get better if you don't acknowledge what really happened. And it did happen, and you're not crazy and you're not absolutely insane. You experienced narcissistic abuse. And the third point links to this, which is understand how you were affected. So that means you're going to have to read up about it. You're going to have to talk about it. You're going to find out about it. And remember, knowledge is power. So you actually do want to do this. You want to understand what happened to you. It will have affected how you think, how you feel, and how you act. And if you're going to heal from this, it's often going to mean changing the way you think, changing the way you feel, and changing the way you behave. And you can't really do that if you don't understand how it affected you. Okay, the fourth point is get yourself support. I am all for self-help. I think seminars, I think books, I think courses are absolutely fantastic. However, if you have been in a narcissistic relationship with a narcissist and you've experienced narcissistic abuse, you need to experience the opposite. You need to experience people who are empathic, who care, and are kind and respectful towards you. We get wounded in relationships, and often if we're badly wounded in relationships, the only way we are going to really heal is in another relationship. You do not isolate yourself. You need the support of other people around you. And be very alert. You are in a vulnerable state, so be on your lookout. If you feel you're not being treated with respect and care, then leave. Make sure your support is coming from people who genuinely respect and care for you and who help you and make you feel better about yourself. Lots of support groups exist, and the truth is they are incredibly successful. And they are incredibly successful because as human beings, there is nothing like, wow, this person gets me. We just know when somebody gets us. And that usually happens because they've been through the exact same thing and they can tell their stories. We don't feel alone. We don't feel so strange. We don't feel so much like there's something wrong with us. It's actually very healing for us. So make sure you have support of other people. You go to support groups if you have them, and be wary of anybody who might try to take advantage of you or treat you badly in your vulnerable state. You need love and care from people around you. Okay, the fifth thing is you're going to focus on your mental and physical health, and you're going to make sure that you take care of them. Your mental health is important. If you are experiencing anxiety, depression, post-traumatic stress disorder, then please go and get help. One of the ways in which we heal from narcissistic abuse is by creating better experiences for ourselves. As you are able to, away from the narcissist, create happier moments for yourself, so that's also part of the healing. If you are anxious, depressed, have PTSD, it's hard for you to create better experiences for yourself, because you can feel almost immobilized and paralyzed and so helpless that you don't in fact do anything. So please go and get them fixed. If you have any physical illnesses, get them fixed. Maybe you need a physical checkup, and pay attention to the basic things like proper nutrition, sleeping well, hydrating, doing exercise. Okay, now, anybody who's been through narcissistic abuse will be quite emotional. So the sixth point is you are going to need to deal with your emotions. We all have emotions. Lots of people would like to pretend we don't, but we do. And it's no good ignoring emotions. What the clever thing to do is to sit there and deal with your emotions and harness them in your favor. So it's not about denying emotions or pretending not to be emotional. It's about acknowledging them, and it's about working with them. You will have been mistreated if you are with a narcissist. So you're going to feel down, you're going to feel scared probably, you're going to feel on edge. So those are all feelings you need to deal with, in addition to which you've lost stuff. So there's going to be lots of grieving. You may have lost yourself. Lots of people tell me, I lost myself in this relationship. You may feel you've lost a lot of time, or you've wasted time and your life hasn't gone where you'd like it to go to. You have lost a relationship in terms of, when you started out, you thought it was going to be good and this is what it was going to be, and you've lost that. So there are quite a lot of losses you need to grieve. You need to grieve. Grieving is not a pleasant experience. It's a normal, healthy process associated with dealing with a loss. It's a little bit like if you scratch yourself and you get a scab. Grieving is the healthy way in which we deal from loss. So you're going to have to go through it, all the stages: denial, bargaining, anger, feeling sad, until you get to acceptance. But you need to experience the grief, and it is not a terrible thing, because once you've done it, you are going to come out and you're going to be healed. Okay, so you may have to deal with anger. There might be a whole lot of other emotions you need to deal with, and sometimes you may find you need to get professional help for this, because not many of us are taught in our daily lives or growing up how to deal with emotions. Okay, the seventh thing I want you to think about is, without fail, your self-confidence will have been broken. As I said, a lot of people who've experienced narcissistic abuse have said to me, I don't know who I am anymore. I lost myself in this process. And you would have, because, you're there you don't count in a narcissist's life. Only they count. Okay, your self-confidence is likely to be shot, and you need to work on your assertiveness. This is very important. If you do not rebuild your self-esteem, your sense of self, your belief in your worth, and become assertive, you are going to most likely go back into a narcissistic relationship. People who are very confident, who are assertive, who have very high self-esteem, when they meet a narcissist, the red flags will immediately come out, and they will go, no. So they won't even start getting involved, or if they do get involved in a relationship with a narcissist, they'll end it quite quickly. So please work on your self-confidence, your self-esteem, your assertiveness. It makes it much less likely you will go back to a narcissistic abusive relationship. Okay, the ninth point. The eighth point. Work on your life. Your life you might be miserable, you might feel like it's over, but it's not over. Their endings are endings. It's not the end of everything. It's a possibility for new beginnings. So think about what you like going ahead in your life. Think about how would you like your life to be. Create some dreams and then start turning them into goals and start working on creating a future that you would really like, because you certainly deserve it. And then the ninth point, the final point I want to make. Lots of people who've experienced abuse, who've been in toxic relationships, and that can even include toxic work environments, will tell me that they are terrified of going back to this. Learn to recognize the warning signs of narcissistic abuse. Once again, it goes back to knowledge is power, because you can empower yourself. Learn to recognize in particular the signs that you miss, because there will be aspects of you that are a bit blind to certain signals, or you don't want to believe certain things you see about other people. Learn the warning signs, know what makes you vulnerable, and then you will feel a lot more empowered and a lot more able to ensure you don't get into a narcissistic relationship in the future. Okay. It does take time to heal. It may take a long time. You may feel you're going forwards, and then you may feel you're going back again. Life sometimes gets in the way, because just when things are going nice, it might go terrible, and horrible things will happen in life and they will knock you. You need to persist. If you persist, you can get there. Thousands of people have overcome narcissistic abuse and gone on to have wonderful lives for themselves afterwards. And if they can do it, you can certainly do it. So I wish you all the best. Know that you only deserve the best, and anything else is not good enough. And if you have experienced narcissistic abuse, then take the time, use the resources available to heal, so that you can go on and have a really good life ahead of you. Have a wonderful week. Goodbye.